This is problem number 2 from section 7.3. It says find all solution in the interval 0 to 2 pi. Now, 0 to 2 pi, they're just talking like it in the previous problem. They're saying this is from 0 to 360 degrees, meaning they don't want us to continuously spin around the unit circle. They only want us to look at the solutions that are in the first revolution, because all the solutions after the first revolution are technically coterminal angles anyways. So they want us to just focus our solutions between 0 and 2 pi. That way we don't get like an infinite amount of solutions. Now this problem will look a little confusing at first because of the tangent squared x equals 1/3. But if we rewrite tangent squared x as tangent x squared, which is the same thing as tangent squared x, they put the square there so that you know it's not the x being squared, it's the tangent function being squared. But this makes the problem look easier because now we know we square root each side. And so we get tangent x equals plus and minus the root of 1/3. So then we know that we can say that that's really the tangent x equals plus and minus root 1 over root 3. So then we can say that that's actually plus and minus 1 over root 3. Okay, so we know that tangent x is equal to plus or minus 1 over root 3. Now we have to do some stuff with the unit circle here to figure out what are the angles at which tangent is 1 over root 3. So we need to combine the unit circle with our reciprocal identities, which we know tangent theta is sine over cosine. So let me go ahead and write that up here. Tangent theta equals sine over cosine. All right. And we know that it can be plus 1 over root 3 and minus 1 over root 3. So what we really need to do is we need to look at our sine and cosine functions and figure out if I divide these, if I divide our cosine or our sine by cosine, do I get 1 over root 3? Do I do it here? Or I get the same thing here? So let's look at the 30 degrees and the 60. All right? So if we look at tangent 30 degrees, that's going to be sine over cosine. So we're going to have 1/2 over root 3 over 2, which is equal to 1/2 times 2 over root 3. And the 2's cancel there, cross cancel, we get 1 over root 3. So 30 degrees is one of our answers. All right, so we know that 30 degrees is one answer. Down here, I'm going to go ahead and write that x equals 30 degrees as an answer. Now, I do want to look at tan 60 because it's important to know what tan 60 gives us. Even though this is not going to be a solution, you'll see why. So if we look at tan 60, we get root 3 over 2 divided by 1/2. So root 3 over 2, and we're dividing by 1/2. So we flip the bottom and multiply. So root 3 over 2 times 2 over 1, which just gives you root 3. And you can see that's not 1 over root 3. That's just root 3. So the 60-degree angles do not work, and we can just kind of put an X by it. Like that doesn't work. So we can make this pretty easy after this. I know then if my 30-degree angle works, and I can either have this be positive or negative, then that means any corresponding angle that is 30 degrees off of the x-axis is going to work as well. Well, that means that if I go to 150, if I do 1/2 divided by negative root 3 over 2, and we can look at that real quick just so you believe me. So tangent 150, that's going to be 1/2 divided by negative root 3 over 2. Flip it, multiply. So negative 2 over root 3 gives you negative 1 over root 3. So I know that 150 works. So because I figured out the 30 degrees, which is 30 degrees off of the x-axis, any other degree off of the x-axis is 30 degrees off of it, will work. So 150 works. If we look here, 210 will work. So we're going to say 210 degrees. And then we look here, and 330 will work as well. So if we're writing it in degrees, those work, and those are our solutions. Those 4 different solutions are our solutions for our angle there for tangent. But they say 0 to 2 pi. Notice they say 0 to 2 pi, not 0 to 360. So they actually want this in radians. So if they want this in radians, instead of writing 30 degrees, right, we know we can write 30 degrees as pi over 6. So this is pi over 6. We can replace the 150 with 5 pi over 6. The 210 with 7 pi over 6. And the 330 with 11 pi over 6. So you can see it's pretty easy really to figure all this out. You can find it in degrees and then just change it to the radian values, and hopefully you're starting to memorize the unit circle as you do this, because it makes it so much easier.